Good morning. Welcome back to my kitchen. Hope you all enjoyed your spring break. I don't know how much different it was than the rest of your time, but back to school again. So we are moving into what is known as solid geometry. We're going to start talking about three-dimensional figures. Today I'm just going to go over a couple different families of figures, and then you'll get to play around with them on your own. Now, to talk about these three-dimensional figures, first we need to learn some vocabulary words. They're actually all words that you already heard before, but we're going to put specific geometric identifications to them. Those words are face, edge, and vertex. Now, face is just any side of a three-dimensional figure. So, this front square here is a face, that's a face, that's a face, 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 face. This cube has 6 faces. Edges are the edges. It's just the sides of the faces, so edges. And there's lots of edges. And then vertexes. Vertexes are just the points where edges come together. So vertex, they're the corners, if you want to think about them that way. So, three-dimensional figures, they have faces, edges, and vertexes. Now, just like two-dimensional figures have names, triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, hexagons, whatever agons. Three-dimensional figures also have names. First one we're going to talk about are prisms. Prisms are formed by 2 parallel congruent faces called bases, and they're connected by parallelograms. So we had this one. I guess I should draw them this way. So we had this one here already. I should have left it. So we've got this one, this face up here, this face down here. They're congruent, they're parallel, and they're connected by parallelograms. So this is a prism. Prisms do not have to be rectangular. I'll test my drawing abilities. So we have 2 congruent triangles, and you connect them. You also end up with a prism. The bases can be any two-dimensional shape, as long as they're parallel and congruent, and you just connect the sides. You end up with a prism. And prisms are named by whatever shape the bases are. So triangular prism, rectangular prism. There is a special case prism where the base is a cube, or a base is a square, in which case you have a cube. So those are prisms. All right, next up, you should know what this one is, but we're going to give you an official definition. Cylinders have 2 parallel congruent circular bases. So you've got, and I cannot draw cylinders. So you got 2 congruent circles, pretend they're congruent, and then you just connect the sides. You know what a cylinder is. Next up, we have pyramids. You kind of know what a pyramid is, but pyramids are more than just what you think they are. Pyramids have a polygon as a base, and then they have triangular faces that meet at a common vertex. So I don't draw pyramids very well either. The pyramids you're used to seeing are these right here that have a square rectangular base, and then they all just meet, up there. So we'll put it up here so they meet like that. But pyramids do not have to have rectangular bases. You can have a triangular one. So you've got triangular base, and then they all meet at a common vertex. So that is the pyramid. And then lastly, you kind of combine all of these things together and you end up with a cone. So circular base, but then a common vertex. You know what a cone is. So those are the 4 basic figures. Some of the homework problems that you're going to have with it are going to talk about maps, or not maps, nets. You know what a net is, you just don't know that you know what a net is. Talking about geometry. You probably did this somewhere way back in elementary school where they gave you this thing that looked like this. And you folded it up and made it into a box. A net is just the shape that you get if you cut along a bunch of the faces, a bunch of the edges, and fold it out flat. So what shape would this be? Yeah, rectangular prism. You fold up, fold along all the dotted lines, and you get that. They're going to give you pictures of nets and ask you what shape it is, or have you figure out what shape the net would look like for a given figure. I really hope we get back in the classroom soon. Really miss you as much as I enjoy teaching in my pajamas. I really miss being in the classroom with you. That's it for today.